Good morning, everybody. Let's welcome the Allstrands. They're going to sing. You don't have to stand for this. You can sing along if you know it. They're going to sing a beautiful Beatles song, Julia, which is a tribute to John Lennon's mother and Yoko.
Half of what I say is meaningless, but I say it just to reach you, Julia. Julia, Julia, ocean child calls me. So I sing a song of love, Julia. Julia, seashells, windy smile calls me. So I sing the song of love, Julia.
Where a floating sky is shimmering, glimmering in the sun.
Julia, Julia, more you know,
Touch me,
so I sing a song of love, Julia. When I cannot sing my heart, I can only speak my mind, Julia. Julia, sleeping sound, golden cloud, touch me. So I sing a song of love, Julia. Touch me. So I sing a song of love, Julia. Julia,
Thank you. That was beautiful. Now, if you will stand, I'm not sure who's leading us in our poulet, but somebody will come forward. And if you are new, this is your first time, you'll find the words to the poulet on the back of your songbooks.
Aloha, kana means respect in Hawaiian. And today I want to send our special respects to all the mothers. As we do this chant, the circle of love, Kalei Aloha, and especially to our mother of this island, Tukeda, and all the ancestors. We say, Kalei Aloha.
the masculine and the feminine spirit, that is God, this morning. And let's just focus on our moms for a while. We know God is all there is, and we know that God comes through us in wonderful ways. So let's just remember our moms if they're not with us anymore. Let's love our moms if they're here today. Let's forgive them if they need forgiving. Let's bless them if they need blessing. And let's all enjoy this day, opening our hearts in love and centering our consciousness in spirit, because that's where we need to be right now. Because Mother Earth has given us a show. Nano Pele is giving us an incredible creational show. And we have many heroes here that are in this audience, and I'll talk about it in a minute, but we just honor them. We honor everybody who has stepped out and helped another person and been present and been praying and been knowing the truth that despite appearances, all is well and all will be well. So we know this, we release it to individualize perfectly for and as each one here and those who could not be with us today. And we send it out with love, knowing it's already done and it's already so. We say together, and so it is. Once again, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, where our vision is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And our personal mission statement is to provide an environment of aloha, inspiring a positive spiritual approach to living. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Please turn off your cell phones. So we are in for a treat today. This is actually going to be the Stephen show. So, because he's going to take the creative thought spot as well, and he has many adventurous things to share with you. I'm amazed that he was able to be here, be present, and put together a talk. He joins my list of heroes. Dr. Libby is here. Monica Devlin is here. Both of them are temporarily without permanent housing, but incredibly centered and incredibly loving and incredibly accepting. They join my list of heroes. So thank you all for being here. And please help me welcome Stephen.
Hey there, folks. We sure do live in interesting times, huh? I want to also say a big mahalo to our tech team, Adam, and David here, and Don, and everybody who just pulled together amazingly this morning. You may recall that I gave you a promise last time, and a promise made is a debt unpaid, as service wrote. I promised that the next time I spoke, we would not only have PowerPoint with moving images, which we had last time, we would have PowerPoint with moving images with sound. Whoa! Now, of course, that's far beyond my mere capabilities, but thanks to David and Adam and Don, we have, and also thank you to Dennis and to Sandy for giving up. They're our musicians who had signed up. They gave up a song, and Daniel was signed up to give the creative thought. He gave up that slot so that I could yak and yak and yak. So thank you. And boy, everybody came together just great. And with that, our creative thought and music are provided by the group Within Temptation with the music video Mother Earth. Happy Mother's Day, all. Mothers, great and small alike, we especially honor and celebrate your role in our lives on this special day. Mothers rule, especially Mother Nature, in all of her many beautiful and awesome forms. A question for you, what is this?
Level, it's a level.
It's just levels?
No, there's some.
No, but
It's
there's
Good. Actually, look carefully. It's wrong on so many different levels. All this happening on Mother's Day is just wrong on so many different levels. Probably like aspects of this talk today will be. Your forgiveness and indulgence is begged in advance. Wrong on so many levels, yet properly understood, even something which seems wrong on so many levels can be a constructive tool for good. Anything which assists us to grow, to smile, and laugh, to come together and joyfully celebrate life is ultimately a good thing, no matter how challenging it may seem. So let's do be safe during this challenging time, yet let's not be fearful. For fear does not prevent death. It prevents life. Toward this safety, Reverend Mark says Four Corners is now closed. He came by a Wawa. 130, of course, is closed at Pahoa and Common Eating. We know in our philosophy that death is nothing to be feared. Rather, death is a friend whose gentle embrace is to be greeted with gratitude and joy. Yet, while we are dancing with life, let us do so fully, joyfully, not fearfully. Of course, loss in general can be understood as a death of sorts, too. A show of hands, please. How many here today have feared loss at some point during the last 2 weeks? Yeah. Thanks for being authentic. Some of you, it's not just fearing it, it's actually come to pass. And you guys really are heroes being here today. Being here calm, centered, grounded, and trusting, even in the face of oncoming challenges, is sometimes easier said than done. But then, this is why we bother reading the textbook, attending classes, and supporting each other in this philosophy. Drill and practice really does make it come automatic. It really helps. Have you ever heard the story about the kiddo raised in this philosophy? I believe it was a girl and she attended the summer camp, the Center's summer camp in the San Jacinto Mountains. And I don't remember the story exactly, whether she was in a car accident or a house fire or what, but she was burned rather badly. And throughout that, she didn't feel pain because she just kept saying, I am whole and perfect. You know, love, God is love, and I am filled with that love. And so like a mantra. And they got her, little plug here, for the Shriners. They got her to a Shriners Children's Hospital and burn unit, and she's fine today. But her experience was not a traumatic one. It was challenged, but it tested her, but did not break her, because she was grounded in this philosophy. It could go there and, as a mantra, reflect on what she had learned in the Sunday school. It's a good philosophy to be grounded in, based on results. Mother Nature can sometimes be awesome in her majestic aspect, yet always she brings us wisdom. Always. A sign of the times recently, this. Dorn and I have lost our house and most of our belongings. 10 years of work went into actually building it. Savings from decades of work were invested in the house and contents. Many significant artifacts and practical stuff like clothes and equipment, both great and small, are likely already destroyed. If not yet, then they probably soon will be. The beautiful piano that my daughter learned on and that Sandy used to play for us with Pinnaman's Chorus, this huge crack opened up underneath it, sulfur dioxide gas came gushing up. So even if the house doesn't collapse, as is likely, I have a feeling the sulfur dioxide gas just destroyed the mechanism in there. So it goes. The legacy we thought we were investing in to pass on to the next generations, well, we'll see. Yet, another way to hold all this is that we have been so blessed, so enriched, to enjoy 10 years of playing in paradise, becoming friends with the folks here, and being part of this community. Our actions, words, and deeds have created a legacy which ripples forward through time like waves across a pond, regardless of however long any specific literal or metaphorical tree we planted enjoys growing in this abundant sun and rain. Here is a view along the driveway. The video and photos were taken by my Hanai nephews. We fortunately had their young, strong help in saving several truckloads of materials. Daniel and Alex, Knights of Grayskull, arise.
You guys.
Take it back. Now, something else. Do we have sound on this? I'm not sure. Yeah, we have sound. Or someone's talking about it. So this is actually the driveway going in. I just told him, don't walk over the crack, it might open and swallow you.
It's psychological, but I feel like there's heat coming off it.
We're not sure. We held our hands over the cracks. We didn't feel heat in the cracks. Here's the driveway going down towards the house.
Right through the streets. There's a storage shed I took pictures of. And this is how beautiful the property is. Behind there is a whole nother building full that I have to empty.
I wish we
Good luck,
could.
guys.
But we had to flee before that happened. And Adam, we really did flee. I would have been screaming and running around in circles, waving my hands in the air. But I had to have the gas mask on and drive the truck. So when the sulfur dioxide gas came up, we fled. This is a crack running along the side of the house. Those white squares are 1 foot on a side. They're paving stones, they're 1 foot on a side. So they guys use some scale comparison. It's one of a great many cracks that have opened up. People are naturally curious, so here's some first-hand footage, rather authentic commentary included, of the fall of Castle Grayskull, our home. When we arrived, these cracks were not there. I called the lads up from the shed where they were loading dowels of stained glass when the cracks appeared underneath as I was working there in the house. And so that's, if you can hear the commentary, that's what's going on there. Right through the front door. Right in through the front door.
Oh, shit. Holy fuck, yeah.
And right out through the back door. Right out through the back door. Like I said, rather authentic commentary. Now, the most remarkable aspect of this to me is that the main crack runs into the house exactly through the middle of the front doors between 2 images of Pele on either side by Kathy Long. It'll be linked in the slideshow later on. And by 3 Dietrich Varezes of Pele over the door. And what's, I don't know if there's any causal link whatsoever, but it's kind of interesting that for the first week of this whole escapade, I left those up and there was no crack. And then I took the 2 Pelés on the sides and the 3 Pelés over, and we evacuated them out, and shazam! There it comes. It was like she was waiting until we got her pictures out. Tell this is a female deity. So, and here's the east outside crack clip for you.
So guys, this happened while I was here, moving to the house. See this?
This is my volcanic rock collection falling into the crack.
Okay? If you're ever around a volcano, don't be stupid like me.
Stupid, but very kind and very brave. Given the spreading cracks and fissures gushing sulfur dioxide inside the house, it has become too dangerous to attempt any further recovery of belongings. Castle Grayskull has fallen, for all practical intents and purposes, and seems likely to literally collapse as well any day now. While I was inside, it sounded like something from the Titanic, because this is steel I-beams. It's 3 stories, steel I-beams, and as the foundation is spreading apart, there's these groaning sounds and pings and pops and sort of shrieks of tortured metal. So I don't think it's long for this world. Castle Grayskull, it was a wonderful time we had together, and we do salute you. Farewell. Now, our own experience from the initial earthquake swarm onward through fleeing in crisis, yes, we really did flee. So I had a Black Hawk helicopter circling around, just to add to the excitement. The truck was loaded with miscellaneous belongings. All that was missing was Grandma in a rocking chair, lashed atop the pile with stuff falling out on the road on the way. Our own experience has been one of being met with kindness and being assisted by so many people. Our special thanks to Ray, our own Ray Ryan, half St. Francis, half Pan, and all heart, for coming genuinely heroic action, rescuing our animals, as well as giving us shelter the first few days. To Reverend Kathy for, as Desert Pete would say, priming the pump. To Reverend Tagg, whose influence via classes and example have proven to be such a source of strength, even though he is now with us in memory and spirit only. And to all the many others who have been so kind. This, by the way, is the staff of Reverend Kathy's late and much beloved husband, Doug. It has been a wonderful source of strength, both literal and symbolic, to rely upon, especially since I've been having back spasms. There are times when the support of friends, both corporeal and incorporeal, is much appreciated. Here's a snapshot of Doran and I fleeing. Oh, wrong slide. Did you see the interview where Governor Ige said that over 6,000 known residents and countless squatters, and who knows who else, the habitually homeless and others, are being driven out of Lower Puna? I am sure folks in Kona and Hilo are bracing themselves for we of Lower Puna in all our eclectic, colorful glory to come visit for a while. A big mahalo to Governor Ige and Mayor Kim for supporting the people of Hawaii vis-a-vis the insurance companies. There have been times when Ige and Kim could not find their own butt with both hands. This time, their support could be the difference between financial ruin and a fresh start for so many. After all, we paid insurance bills year after year after year. So now that a need has arisen, it is appropriate that those guys should make good as promised. Mahalo, Governor Ige and Mayor Kim. You two are looking good. Master, I am very discouraged. What should I do? Encourage others. We cannot all be the governor or mayor, yet we can all assist. But I am old and my body is all broken down. I am too poor to help anymore. I have nothing to give. Well, can you smile? Say something nice? Pet a lost or abandoned animal at the Humane Society shelter? I've seen 3 dogs and 1 cat running around so far. My heart goes out to those feathered and furry family who have lost their homes as well. Let's choose to stay conscious and to encouragingly celebrate life, rather than being thrown to mourning losses, fading youth, past decisions, past regrets. That was then, this is now. New moment, new choice. As Reverend Kathy invited us to do, breathe. Really, let's do that right now, shall we? Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Breathing really does help. It's like chocolate. It really does help. Let's consider the difference between being wiped out and being wiped clean. Doran and I are taking a big hit on all this. Won't try to minimize that. It's decades of earnings, savings, investment. A lifetime of stuff, treasures, and clutter alike. Lots of clutter. Others are losing far more. There is a paradox in this. The widow's mite weighs more heavily in the balance than the rich man's $1 million. The loss of a sugar shack hits just as hard as the loss of a mansion. Anyone made suddenly homeless and seemingly without resources can be subject to deep despair. Yet, this despair stems from a mistaken understanding of what wealth is and how it's generated. Divine source cannot be exhausted, cannot even be depleted. Divine abundance flows in to fill our vessel to whatever dimension we can expand to receive. Sometimes letting go of that which we had become habituated to holding on to allows for new good to come into the newly opened space. Sometimes sometimes letting go of that which we had become, sometimes being nudged out of a deep rut of pattern allows new and wonderful possibilities to be born into our lives. Paradoxically, a painful death or loss of the old can allow miraculous new potential to be birthed into manifestation. Let us all be practitioners and know the truth for others at a time they may be unable to remember it for themselves. Divine source is our source, now and always, and can never be depleted. Toward this, here are 3 excellent tools I highly recommend. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And 3 tools I especially admire in this regard are our textbook, The Science of Mind. And you want to get to know it better, take a class. It's the best way in my experience. A book which I wish I had read before we built The Burning Island, A Journey Through Myth and History in Volcano Country, Hawaii, by Pamela Frierson, 1991, Sierra Club Nature Library. And The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. How to Free Yourself and Your Family from a Lifetime of Clutter by Margareta Magnusson. This is a humorous, gentle, witty, and very practical book. And I had read it after the transition of my sister, and I was going through her stuff, and I was looking at all our stuff and thinking, we gotta go through this stuff. We gotta thin this down. We gotta let go of a lot of this stuff. And Madame Paley was listening. Be careful what you wish for. The idea is right, the schedule just got accelerated a bit. Now, in a way, this stressful event has assisted me to focus. What is important? For example, we only managed to save a small fraction of the stuff at our place, but this box sitting next to me did get sought out, loaded, and saved. Back when we were building here, I told Tag, you know, the epoxy can take any shape you mold it to assume, and we do have an abundance of bi-cut glass. He took it from there. The sconces were his design. His mold building and casting, his mounting, everything. The tanks, the sconces were all Tag. Now one, over here behind me, was damaged by getting hit by it with a ladder or some such. So we cast a replacement for it. But then Tag went on to his next adventure before it was assembled and mounted. I've been going in 20 different directions, and time has passed and passed and passed. But recent events have been very focusing. Last week, a realization about the sconce occurred to me. It came to me in song, actually. It's now or never. So, here's one of the panels, and the rest of them are in the box here. Here's that replacement sconce. I'm going to turn that over to our contractor, Lonnie, and leave it to him to get it assembled and mounted there. But we did get it out. Yay!
You're amazing.
Events have focused attention, and I have become more clear about my intention. But what if the earthquakes too badly damage the windows? There are lots of cracks already. Oh my God, oh my God. No worries. No worries. The space of possibility is always there. If these are destroyed, if the worst happens, then we just create new windows and have fun with the new design, working together in the new process and new installation. New moment, new choice. Breathe. Perspective is everything. That is the value of practitioners knowing the truth for us when we have difficulty knowing it for ourselves. Indeed, this whole experience has awakened me to understand that I live in the same house with practitioners and did not even realize it.
Here is that which I have tended to see in the mirror since April 20th, a very frazzled and frantic man. But here is how my dogs and birds have seen me. My furry and feathered practitioners know the truth for me even when I cannot remember it for myself. God, please let me be half the archangel my dog thinks I am. I look in their eyes and I think, oh boy, I gotta live up to this somehow. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. As we learned in our Science of Mind class on Ralph Waldo Emerson. And education is not something you can finish. And this is good news. It may seem wrong on so many levels that Mother's Day coincides with Mother Nature dancing across Puna in her Madame Pele form. Yet this educates us about her many guises and prompts us to reflect, to awaken, to focus, to come together, to be more, to be better than we were before. We are individuated personifications of the divine in human form, and today is a day when we especially celebrate the divine feminine in the form of mothers. We call you Mom. So, happy Mother's Day to the person who usually gets stuck with feeding me and walking me and cleaning up after me and taking me to the vets and hugging me and worrying about me. Indeed, we appreciate your devoted love and care, especially those of us whom only a mother could love. You are the best, Mom. By the way, I'd like to personally thank all the mamas who let their babies grow up to be cowboys. Oh my. Yes, indeed. Are you familiar with this image? In medieval times, it was thought pelican mothers struck their own breast and fed their babies with their own life's blood. The image was actually incorporated into the British Royal Crest. Whether lava feeding the landscape to build new soil and all that follows in the rainforest that later flourishes, or a mom spooning Gerbers into a messy little mouth, or wiping a messy little bottom, moms are our lifeblood. Of course, moms have many faces. At least mine sure did. And moms teach us in many different ways. Not all of them entirely intentional. I so did that on purpose. Yeah, right. We believe you. Moms are so potent a force that they can keep on teaching us even much later in life, when we are married and meet our spouses' mothers. Honey, your mom's here! From the original Eve in Africa to our own moms, we, your children, do genuinely adore you. Moms such as Margareta Macbuson, who coyly describes her age as somewhere between 80 and 100, have such rich life experience that essentially anyone can learn valuable lessons from her. The process of letting go of stuff, decluttering, making good arrangements, is so pleasantly discussed in her enlightening book. Recent events have rather accelerated the process a bit more than is comfortable for some of us, yet I agree, dostapning, the Swedish word for this, is not at all sad. Rather, it frees one to enjoy more. This is largely a matter of perspective. For example, recognize this? The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You guys recognize this? Yeah. How many of us sat there over and over? And this is the typical example given for a sentence which incorporates all 26 letters of the English alphabet. Anything and everything we say in English, we say with these 26 letters. How many of us typed this sentence over and over again in typing class once upon a time back during the Jurassic period?
Pre-Jurassic.
Speaks of black quartz,
judge my vow. Objectively, this formulation is a million times cooler. The 26 letters are entirely ours to arrange and use howsoever we wish. Likewise, these various experiences in life. Doom and gloom or fresh new spaces of possibility, it's entirely up to us. As Reverend Tagg used to say, happiness is an inside job. Externalities can neither provide nor take away our happiness if we choose this truth. That said, we must also acknowledge the practical realities That said, we must also acknowledge the practical realities of our circumstances and cope with them in a pragmatic, rational, well-grounded manner. Or not. The choice is ours. Such a journey, the Divine Feminine Principle made manifest gifts to us. Life is such a spectacular miracle, such a marvelous gift. Alas, sometimes we err. This woodcut by Dietrich Varese is titled The Rape of Pele, and can be found in this book, which is absolutely excellent. Everything you want to know about what's going on right now, read this book. It's very well explained.
Would you say the title?
Sure. The Burning Island, A Journey Through Myth and History in Volcano Country, Hawaii, by Pamela Frierson. And it'll be up here on the table after we talk. Now, sometimes in our ignorance, short-sighted greed, and sheer hubris, we offend. You might notice Puna Geothermal Company, and a great big screw driving down into the magma chamber there. Human mothers and Mother Nature alike, please forgive us our transgressions. As the late, great Joseph Campbell observed, and there is a class, Science of Mind 220, Joseph Campbell and the Science of Mind. If we are open to the divine teachings our actions have brought to us, then such teachings come to us as a wonderful blessing. If, however, we resist learning our lesson, then the divine teacher can manifest as a form experienced as wrathful, such as Kali, Mara, Ranga, or another of the wrathful feminine deities, depending upon the tradition. The choice is ours. Myself, I'll not be rebuilding a 3-story steel structure atop an active earth zone. That lesson is learned. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Leave it to an Englishman to make, if life hands you lemons, then make lemonade, sound ever so much more profound. 'Tis true though, in my experience. Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle, and others talk quite a bit about living in the now, in this moment. It's good advice. The classes here at the center, such as the Ralph Waldo Emerson class and the Joseph Campbell class, explore these topics in depth. Now, what we're looking at right here is some Zuni artist priests working on a sand painting. This is a sand painting. This is one of their deities, a Zuni bear. And when I took a load with the lads up to Honekaha, to a friend's house there, and he was looking at the video, this is a Navajo mandala, sand mandala. He was looking at the video that the boys shot on their cell phones, and he said, "Stephen, your house is like a sand painting. It's like you have meticulously been adding color, and the floors have these beautiful patterns, and the windows have the beautiful patterns, and so on." He says, "It's like you guys have been laboring meticulously for years, adding colors and adding patterns. It's a sacred act of devotion. And guess what? Congratulations. Your offering has been accepted by the goddess. She has accepted it. She's taken it." I thought it was so lovely. And indeed, we're seeing it being erased before our eyes, and it's not a bad thing in a way. It's like, wow, we're honored in a way. We're really honored. And after it gets totally reincorporated, there's going to be forest growing there. There's going to be new life. Eventually that new lava will turn to soil, and there'll be a fresh palette for a fresh start for future generations, for future critters and trees. Speaking of endings, I want you to notice this. This article is a really good resource. This talk was supposed to be all about the Swedish book, and after my experience with my sister about preparing for transitions and letting go, and it's morphed into this. But this article, What It Was Like to Finally Write My Will by John Schwartz in the April 3rd, 2018 New York Times, is excellent. To wit, we were in good company. Fewer than half of Americans have written a will. So let's talk about writing a will. Where to start? First, I tried going online for a do-it-yourself approach. Several products can help you write your will and other escape documents. He talks about some of those there. Now, by the way, Margarita, in her book, does not talk about tithing with regard to dostadning, the Swedish approach. Yet I would note that one's will is a great place to do so. Leaving a bequest of any size to whatever group or cause or effort you have found valuable and want to support is a wonderful way to send forward good ripples in the wishing well, even with one's last tossed coin. If your finances and family are all extremely straightforward, then these do-it-yourself online sort of approaches can work. But if you do write a will on your own, hire a lawyer to check your efforts. And some of those products, those online products, do offer consultation with an attorney who will vet it. That's very wise to know. The local culture has a very special traditional ecological knowledge, mythos, and sacred understanding of volcanism. In the traditional Hawaiian worldview, Mother Nature in her creative guise dances across the landscape as Pele. The intellectual approach of measuring evidence and using the scientific method is in perfect, respectful accord with this spiritual understanding. There is no conflict whatsoever. Indeed, all this beauty which surrounds us here in paradise in such exuberant abundance flows directly from this birthing process of sorts. My understanding of Pele is that of an outsider and a newcomer, and perforce quite limited. Yet I appreciate this remarkable symbolism of youth, adulthood, and full maturity in the divine feminine. Even so, respectfully, Your Awesomeness, Madam Pele, I'm not saying your perfume is too strong. I'm just saying the canary was alive before you got here. That sulfur dioxide is pungent stuff. Good. I take it back. Sulfur dioxide smells great. Ernie wrote in the 1920s and 30s when the masculine pronoun was standard usage. Yet I think he meant, and that for those of you who are new to the tradition here, Ernest Holmes is our founder. He's the one who did a cut and paste with a Venn diagram where all the circles overlap right in the middle. What do all those different spiritual and religious traditions have in common? It's in here. He wrote back when the masculine was standard, yet I think he meant goddess as well as God here, or more likely both principles combined together. This quote is usually used with regard to abundance, yet I feel it fits perfectly with our current situation as well. God gives some more than others, including challenges, because some accept more than others. We have this. We can accept this gift and grow from it. Eckhart Tolle notes, see if you can catch yourself complaining in either speech or thought about a situation you find yourself in. What other people do or say, your surroundings, your life situation, even the weather. To complain is always non-acceptance of what is. It invariably carries an unconscious negative charge. When you complain, you make yourself a victim. Leave the situation or accept it. All else is madness. And this is the most sane group of people I have ever met. And it is a pleasure when I travel to visit centers elsewhere and be among other very sane people. Indeed, you are rich when you are content and happy with what you have. It's so true. It's so true. The more wisdom you attain, the more conscious you become, the crazier you will appear to others. Sane people that we are, other people look at us and say, oh, those poor people. I think Albert Einstein is correct. The more wisdom you attain, the more conscious you become, the crazier you will appear to others. And only this Center for Spiritual Living could you find death metal music videos and Nietzsche. Because Nietzsche adds to that, and those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Happy Mother's Day to all moms everywhere. Happy Mother's Day, folks.
Outstanding job. Thank you, Stephen. I'm blown away. Moms, if you did not get your roses when you came in, please, if you left, please help yourself. Oh, our ushers are here.
The bar, check up on you.
I know. It's time for conscious giving. So, please join me in welcoming back Sandy and Dennis. And repeat with me our prosperity affirmation if you would like to. Divine love. Divine love. In and through me. In and through me. Blesses and multiplies. Blesses and multiplies. All that I am. All that I am. All that I give. All that I give. All that I receive. All that I receive. All that I have. All that I have. And so it is. And so it is. Paul's here. Yay, Paul. Where are you staying? Are you in Hilo, Paul?
Yeah.
All right, safe and sound.
And I want to welcome Martha and Joan to help with the song. Stand dance or something. Mama said
Can't think of a more perfect selection.
There'll be weeks like this.
Thank you. Let's bless this offering, knowing that it is given from a place of love and it is accepted and received in love. And it goes to all the right places and takes care of all the right things and keeps our church flourishing and growing and thriving. And for this, we're very grateful. And so it is. All right, I'd like to call Monica Devlin up now because she would like to share a poem with us. Help me welcome Monica.
Aloha. So, dear Libby and I were right at ground zero. So we lost our homes and our lovely neighbors. And so, for some reason, last night was the first time I found some words. And let me just share what I've managed to put together in my joy. And I couldn't agree with Stephen's presentation more. I think I must have been hearing him all last night as I was up till 3 when these thoughts were coming. So, let me take a breath. And it's so lovely to be with you all.
We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, so maybe a little closer and taller.
Perfect.
So this is called 10 Days. Pink blossoms on the golf course trees. The sweet, sweet smile of a 6-month-old. Children's laughter outside the Red Cross shelter. Oh, that's right, it's spring. Life tangles up and veers wildly, don't we know? And this is a big surprise. Madame Pele grumbling along her warpath of creation, telling me leave with 6.9 emphasis. Floating, swaying through the breezes and storms, and yes, even through the quaking, as the molten breath of Tutu Pele draws near. She reclaims a simple, cozy, humble home after 30 years of grace in her backyard. My offering is freely given. Now, as an impressive 12-foot wall of blackest night stands guard over that little acre of land, her dominance respected and honored. Gasp, deep breath, then trust, uplifting, delightful, inspirational blessings shower unceasingly. Waterfalls of warm concern and deepest caring, drenching thoroughly as it is thirstily soaking in. Incredibly, even more blessings appear. A grateful heart welling up and tumbling out. First responders, officials, all souls of selfless action, compassionate, kind-hearted volunteers, Ohana near and less near, embracing and comforting. Love, always love, no matter the conditions, knowing we are all in this life together. Just choose love.
that all who need to be sheltered are sheltered, all who need to be fed are fed, all who need to be loved are loved, all needs are met in perfect divine order. And we're all part of that. So I know this is true. I release it and let it be so on this beautiful Mother's Day. And together we say, and so. Let's have a closing circle. We don't have time for standing in the light, so if you need treatment, grab one of the practitioners, one of the ministers. We'd be happy to help you. Or there is a treatment slip in the back of the room you can fill out and leave with us. Thank you.
Especially today, with the
Okay. Bow.